Anthony Slater with The Athletic.
Yeah, what are kind of the pros and cons for you when you face a team like this where Draymond probably has to be pretty locked into an individual matchup like Anthony Davis compared to in a game where he can roam a bit more and not worry as much individually?
Well, the pros said, we've got, I think, the best defender on earth guarding one of the best players on earth. You always want to be able to go in and have a matchup for a guy like Anthony Davis. And I think that outweighs the cons. The cons are that, Draymond can't play as much center field, which he's really good at. But, the number one thing going in is you've got to be able to guard Davis, because if you can't guard him, then you got to double team him, and that opens up everything. So it's great to have Draymond playing at such a high level, and we'll see how the game goes, and we'll adapt as we go.
Hey, Steve, good to see you. Obviously, Draymond's always been so valuable to you guys, but how have you seen the past 2 years him handling the entirely new team dynamic, and how do you think that may have evolved from last season to this season?
Well, I think what's different from last season is that he's got the help that he needs. I think last season was overwhelming in terms of just the injuries that we had suffered and the losses. I mean, you talk about KD and Andre and Sean and then Clay and then Steph on top of that. Like, it didn't matter, what Draymond did last year. We were going to really struggle. And so it was a frustrating season for him. This year, there was hope right away. Even in spite of Clay's tragic injury that, cast such a pall over us in training camp, you still had returning players who could help Draymond carry the load, in particular Steph. And so what I've seen is Draymond has returned to his high level of play, his confidence, his competitiveness. It's all there. He looks like the same guy that I've known for the last 7 years. And that's exciting, because to me, Draymond is one of the very most impactful players in the league when it comes to winning. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow.
We have a couple players up here shortly.
All right, well, I'm ready. Let's go.
Our next question is from Mark Medina, USA Today.
Hey, Ken, good to see you.
Yes, sir. You too.
Hey, what's been the Draymond teammate experience like this season? How's that compared to earlier in your career?
I mean, it's been everything you could ask for. I mean, coming from where I've been the past couple of seasons, bouncing around a little bit, trying to, get your feet on solid ground and having a leader like Draymond that's helped you push through, everything, even, regardless to how your body's feeling. He always, finds a way in the battle to get us going. And, it's helped me tremendously, even spending time with him off the floor, just kind of talking through things and, what I've been through this year and, just what we're trying to accomplish as a team. He's been great, helping me understand, how this league works and how the games work on a nightly basis, what we're trying to do from a in-depth perspective. I think his knowledge for the game is unreal. What he sees out there, how he views the game. It's kind of helped me shape my perspective. So he's been a great teammate, and I've always, I love going to war with him. We did it back in Vegas back in 2013, just leading a troop. So he's bringing that intensity and, I try to match it every night. So he's bringing the best out of me.
Next up, Monty Poole.
Kent, you've been around the league a little bit, and I'm wondering, when you playing with Draymond again, have you played with anybody who brings a similar defensive impact? And if you haven't, then what makes Draymond so unique?
I had the privilege to play with Paul Millsap back in Atlanta, and he really made me stand out as a defensive guard. In his pick and roll defense, being up and really bothering the guard, off the initial screen. And I was able to kind of, play behind, get a lot of, rivery contests. Paul isn't as, outgoing as Draymond per se, but I think the impact that Millsap had defensively was, it's up there. Guarding multiple guys, guarding guards, guarding bigs, whomever the matchup was. And, Draymond, he's so demonstrative because he has such a crazy presence, with his voice, as long as, as well as his play. And, it's intimidating for some guys. You can see some guys shy away during the games, especially these younger guys that just got in the NBA will be at the free throw line. And, you could just see him, it's kind of, confused and, shaking in the shoes a little bit. So he's earned that right. He's a 3-time champ, defensive player of the year. And, he puts his body on the line every night. So when he's out there barking, a lot of people are listening.
Draymond was doing his interview on the court, and he said, "I am a dog." Did you happen to see that video?
Absolutely.
So you know what Draymond actually said then?
Yeah.
So
the two adjectives before.
Exactly. And I'm wondering, what is the power of Draymond knowing exactly how good he is, declaring that publicly, and then backing it up this season with his play?
It's an embodiment of who he is obviously ultimate confidence, not shy to, talk about it, not shy to, let his presence be known and felt on and off the court. But it's also a motivator for the team, and he knows like that confidence that he exudes on the court is contagious, and his IQ, his competitiveness, physicality out there, all those things that you see, whether it shows up in the stat sheet or not, really ignites what we do, especially on the defensive end. And I credit him. Sometimes you need to, in however way you want to, proclaim who you think you are, in that respect. Because I'm sure that motivates him for what he needs to do tomorrow, the rest of the playoffs, hopefully, and the rest of his career.
So how difficult would you say last season was for Draymond?
I mean, we talked about it a lot. It was obviously a tough year with injuries and all that. And, myself and Clay not being out there, Loon being hurt for a good amount of time. For better or worse, he was on an island a little bit. And there was a point early in the season when with all the injuries that we had, we kind of knew where we were going to end up as a team and in the standings. And, you see when games matter, what type of Draymond comes out, and it's not just what he says. To your question, it's what he does out there on the floor. So I know he's been, patiently waiting an opportunity to be back on the stage that we're used to, playing games that matter. And that goes to what I was talking about a couple months ago, or maybe not that long ago, but trying to make this season mean something down the stretch. And we're in that position now where we're playing games with consequences.
Thank you.